My wife is right around 6 months pregnant ATM. Earlier, she was indulging in some barbecue ribs that I picked up on the way home. It was at her request as a late-night craving. She was sitting in a lounge chair and eating quickly, messy, sloppy, before returning to her schoolwork she fell behind on. She returned to school at 26 to obtain her degree, and I have been supportive. I was glad to make her slightly stressful week a bit better with the food she craved. I had just sat down myself when she asked me to pass her the roll of paper towel, as she was all messy from the barbecue sauce and wanted to check her email. Now the paper towels were way closer to her side of the room we were in, living dining area, and I had literally just sat down. I told her no to get them herself. She said it was awkward and annoying for her to get up from where she was sitting, with barbecue sauce on her hands and stuff everywhere. She tends to be pretty messy in her day-to-day, and the area was cluttered up with her water bottle, her school stuff, books, clothing, random papers, etc. I jokingly said, well, you didn't think that through, did you?" in reference to not preparing for the messy ribs, and she got pissy about this, saying I was being a butt for no reason, and could I please just pass her the paper towels? I was annoyed at this point, so I again said no. "They're closer to you, I just sat down, get them yourself." I added, maybe a bit too harshly, "You're pregnant, not disabled." So when she got up, it was a bit too quick, and she bumped the table with all her crap precariously piled on it. With this, her cup of hot chocolate that she made hours before had spilled over the basket of clean laundry she had folded and left next to the chair, including my white work shirt which was on the top of the pile. She immediately started crying, and we ended up arguing. She insists it was my fault for not taking 2 seconds to get up and pass her the paper towel. I suspect it's partially a hormonal reaction on her end. Though I admit this all could have been avoided if I just got her the paper towel, I still do not think it is my fault, nor am I the AH. I pointed out that if it wasn't so messy around her, it wouldn't have happened that way. Why wasn't the laundry put away instead of in the basket on the floor? And why not take the hot chocolate to the sink if you didn't drink it? B. Laundry is going to be a major part of her life in just a few short months as she gets ready to become a mum, and getting so upset about an extra load isn't worth the energy she's spending, especially with a new baby, and with school, she needs to be better organised and aware. I still think this is mostly due to her mess and being frustrated when she got up and knocked over the stuff. She says I'm TA for prioritising sitting down over being supportive of her needs. Am I the idiot? Now here are the comments. Comment 1. You're the idiot. You said your wife didn't think things through, but clearly what you meant is that you didn't think things through, OP. She's 6 months pregnant, which means her weight is very different from her baseline. Most women who are that far along need to use their hands to get up. Her hands were covered in barbecue sauce. So, were you unaware that your wife would likely need her hands to rise safely from her seat? Or did you not recognise that the barbecue sauce made using her hands precarious, if not entirely impossible? Or did you not recognise that, being unable to use her hands, she'd be less stable getting up and risk bumping into whatever was nearby? Your snide comment about her area being messy because she hadn't put away the laundry, WTF op? Are you trying to say you're simply not capable of putting away the laundry yourself? I mean, she's already done the lion's share of the work, meaning washing it, drying it and folding it, and you can't be bothered to put it away yourself. Why not? And your follow-up comment about how laundry is going to be a big part of her life as a mother. Again, WTF. You're going to be a father, OP. Laundry is going to be a big part of your life too. You make it sound like it's all on her, and for that alone, you're the idiot. As for her wasting energy over one load of laundry, you're missing the point. The load of laundry is not the problem, OP. You are the problem. You had just sat down, so what exactly was the harm of getting up again to get her the paper towels? All the crap you posted here, about her area being full of stuff, about her generally being messy, are all reasons you should have just gotten up and gotten her the effing paper towels. Again, she's 6 months pregnant and needs her hands to get up. Her hands are covered with barbecue sauce. You should have gotten off your butt and given her the paper towels, even if they were slightly further away from you than her. You're the idiot 100%. Comment 2. I'm messy and clumsy and not pregnant. But in a similar situation, if I said to my partner that I was concerned that in reaching for the paper towels I would probably make a mess, he would rescue me. Because neither of us want the spilled hot chocolate, which you say yourself was pretty easily predictable. My partner would probably also have either taken the old hot chocolate away before he sat down if I was genuinely busy and focused on my studying. Because he is kind and likes to look after me, and the house, sofa, rug, coffee table that will be harmed when I eventually spill it. Or if he's also tired and busy, he will point out that I have let things get too chaotic and There's a predictable accident about to happen, so I really need to do a little tidy up before he brings the food in, because we like each other, and we support each other, and we compensate for each other's areas of weakness. You need to understand that when baby arrives, you will both be short on sleep, and that will make you both grumpy and short-tempered. You will need to make a lot of effort to be nice to each other in moments like these. If you cannot do it before baby arrives, then you're going to fail when baby is here. Work harder on being kinder and communicating better. When she's dealing with a spilled mess and a ruined basket of clean laundry, and the disappointment of asking her partner for support and not getting it, that was not the moment for a lecture on "you should have seen the future and put the laundry away already." That was just mean and spiteful, piling onto the crappy moment. You're the idiot. Comment 3. If I were helping my pregnant partner while they were studying, I would give them a towel to use to protect their clothes from splatters and a damp cloth for their hands before giving them the wings. If they asked for paper towels, I'd get up and get them from the shop if need be. If they had folded the laundry, I would take it and put it away. If I felt they had stacked things precariously on the coffee table, I'd ask if I could reorganize, and while I was at it, I'd ask if they wanted a new hot chocolate. I'd do all these things because I understand that pregnancy isn't fun, neither is studying, and if I'm going to be supportive, I'm going to be properly supportive. I know that we're not well taught how to focus on other people, but I assure you, you will find it far more enjoyable to be a dad and a husband if you pay attention to anticipating the needs of the people you care about. Obviously, your wife was going to need to wipe her hands. Why didn't you spend 5 seconds thinking ahead and making sure you put the paper towels within reach? Do you prefer her to get barbecue sauce on her books or on the furniture? Is barbecue sauce on the furniture and spilled chocolate on your white shirt really more convenient than having made sure she had something to clean her hands with when you gave her food that is always messy to eat? Is your smug superiority actually worth this argument? You have the opportunity to become a better partner. I recommend you take it. You're the idiot. Now for the next story. I'm 28-year-old female, and I was recently out with a girlfriend who told me a friend of hers was getting married soon and asked if I wanted to go as her +1. I've met the bride before through this particular friend and enjoyed our brief interactions. I also didn't want my friend to have to go by herself, so I was happy to accept the invitation. It was only later that I discovered that the groom is an ex of mine. I'd had no idea and hadn't been told. Our relationship hadn't been that great, and we parted messily. Thing is, my friend knew for sure that I had dated this guy. He was in our friendship circle during our relationship, but still invited me. I rang her, and she claimed she couldn't remember, and that I'd already been put down as a +1, so it wouldn't be right for me to pull out. I contacted the bride and told her that I wouldn't be able to make it, and explained as tactfully as I could why. She was pretty understanding, and I thought that was the end of it, until I had a ton of people contacting me to say I was being selfish and trying to make things about me by refusing to go. I couldn't understand that. I just felt uncomfortable with attending and thought I'd actually attract more attention with my presence than with my absence. I'm still having people tell me I've let down my friend who hasn't been speaking to me by refusing to attend, as well as being immature. They're saying I should support my ex's happiness and put the past behind me. At first I didn't believe any of that, but it's been said enough to me by this point by so many people that I'm starting to think it might be true. I just wanted to see what impartial people may think of this, which is why I've posted. Now here are the comments. Comment 1. Not the idiot. I've literally never been to a wedding where you essentially lock in your +1 by name. You either get a +1 or don't. Your girlfriend can find someone else. This is the wedding of a person only tertiarily connected to you, and then another person you had a falling out with. Your presence there, no offence intended, is not necessary, nor will it be missed by the bride and groom. Something weird is going on with your friend trying to force you into this situation. It's suspicious she would ask you to go, knowing the groom is your ex, and is just super freaking weird to try to convince someone that a +1 commitment is this intense. If you find out why she's being so weird, please update us. Comment 2. Who are all these idiots who are contacting you and saying that you are being selfish and immature? Those people really need to get a grip. You are definitely doing the right thing, but avoiding the situation altogether. This could have been handled quietly, but your friend decided to make a big deal and broadcast it. You also handled it right when you contacted the bride directly to let her know what's going on. Your friend is the AH, and anyone that tells you you need to go are AHs also. But you definitely are not the idiot. Comment 3. Not the idiot. If you and one of the people getting married ended on less than great terms, not going is prioritizing their comfort and avoiding stress and awkwardness at their wedding, not just your own. It was absolutely the correct choice. Your ex deserved to not have that potential mess and distraction on his wedding day. If you put it that way to people, I expect you'll stop hearing the BS about it being immature/selfish/ etc. Now for the next story. I, 16-year-old male, work part-time right now and have my own income. I'm also the oldest in my family. I have 4 younger siblings, 2 biological brothers who are on the spectrum and 2 sisters who are biologically my cousins and were adopted by my parents as babies. Both have Down syndrome. All 4 of my younger siblings have significant challenges and health issues. Over the years, it has drained my parents' resources and left very little for anything fun. It was only when I started working 2 years ago that I could afford to treat myself occasionally. Sometimes it's my favourite gummies. Sometimes I save up to buy something. I bought myself a laptop earlier this year with my money because I needed something, especially with school and everything. And using the family computer didn't work as much now because Dad works later in the days than he used to. For the last few months, I've paid for certain groceries for myself. Since there are so many different meals made in our house and I usually ended up with stuff I didn't really enjoy, I decided to occasionally buy stuff so I could make myself something I'd like, and it was one less person for my mum to prepare food for. My brothers both have safe foods, and my sisters are also picky eaters who have limitations due to allergies, but also due to not enjoying the taste of a lot of things. I know my parents have been struggling to afford all the safe foods, allergen foods, and then stuff for themselves. A while ago, my dad asked if I could buy some family groceries for everyone, and I sat and asked him if I could just get more of what I like for everyone, and he said no. He and my mom don't like the foods I do. My siblings couldn't and wouldn't eat them. He said just get the usual stuff and I can live off of stuff I don't love. I told him I didn't want to do that I was trying to enjoy food more, and it was one less person for them to buy for. We compromised and I would buy myself groceries all the time instead of sometimes. Then a couple of weeks ago some foods ran out and my dad had to use his credit card to buy a few extra groceries. I was the only person who didn't run out that week. My parents were pissed. They asked why I took care of myself so much but wouldn't help out with my family. Mum said it's exhausting having to feed so many different people with different needs, and I could at least buy food for my siblings if I can't give a shoot about her and Dad. They said I was selfish and I should be thinking of my family over just me. My parents said I would probably let everyone starve before I help out, and then they accused me of resenting them for adopting my sisters and adding more additional needs kids to our family. But they said that's what family does and I should be ashamed. They also said I should never have bought the laptop and could have helped out more financially without it. Am I the idiot? Comment 1. Not the idiot. Your parents are actually legally obligated to provide for you until you are 18 and they are not doing that. It sounds as though they were doing okay. Until you started earning money. Okay, your siblings probably eat more too because they are bigger and food is more expensive. You're already helping them out by paying for your own food. You also have provided your own laptop that your parents didn't have to pay for. Your dad either needs to find a higher paying job or utilize some of the services available for people with disabilities. Do your siblings go to school? The cousins with T21 would go to a disability school who hopefully provide food, so that's one less meal a day they would need. I would hope that these schools would be like public schools and there isn't big fees for them. What about your brothers? Are they in school? Your parents may be eligible for disability payments to help support the younger kids too, which would take a little bit of the pressure off. It's not your responsibility to feed your siblings. It's great that you offered to help, but you are not obligated to. Comment 2. Not the idiot, but your parents are. They can take their bleeding heart BS and shove it. They have a legal obligation to provide for you until you are 18, and they are not even doing that. This is a form of neglect and would be illegal in most countries. It's their job to raise you to have success in life, not just as a resource for their pity project. They chose to take on these responsibilities. It's on them to deal with it. Yeah, it's hard, but they chose to do a hard thing. They should have thought of that before they got started. No one forced them to have 3 kids. No one forced them to adopt 2 more. They should just admit their failure and go to social services rather than drag you down with them. Because right now they are being the selfish and irresponsible ones. Yeah, family helps, that's what they do, but parents provide. That's what they do. If they want more money, they can get a job that pays better or work more hours. If you start now, you will never get out of this. Even if you move out, they will still be asking for your help. Comment 3. Cool story, Dad, but still against the law. You can help if you want, which you _ have offered to do _. You're not legally responsible for your siblings. That's your parents' responsibility. Are they good people taking on more children? Perhaps, but they have no right to offload their responsibilities onto you. You don't need to join in their suffering. Though you may want to hide your laptop, they sound very resentful about it, and I don't know what type of people they are. Not the idiot. Now for the next story. Tim was having a look at my dog's vet record book the other day and asking me if my dog was spayed. I said yes. He looked at me like I was a monster and then called me cruel, saying it's an unnecessary operation and that I mutilated her permanently. I was shocked before telling him that one. It was done to her by the shelter before I adopted her too. This eliminates the risk of ovarian cancer. And 3, if he had had his dog spayed, she would not have died of ovarian cancer. He looked at me like I punched him in the face and then left. My other brother Clay said that I shouldn't have said it since it was bringing back Tim's worst memories from when he had to watch his dog die, and that I could have let him keep on living in denial. Now here are the comments. Comment 1. Not the idiot. Spaying also helps prevent pyometra. It's absolutely not something I would wish on anyone's pet. I waited to get my cat spayed because we had other pets with more pressing medical needs, and she was an indoor cat with no chance of pregnancy. A week before she was finally scheduled, she suddenly stopped moving. We rushed her in and they told us it's pyometra and she'd need emergency surgery. We were lucky. It happened to be a surgery day at the vet. The vet had just finished the last spay, and the vet agreed to do it despite extremely low survival odds, and it being something they wouldn't normally do. It was a low-cost clinic that isn't fully equipped. Recovery was extremely rough. If there had been a different vet, or if it had been a different day, or even a different time that day, or if we had gone to a different vet office, my cat would have died. I just wish when they push spaying to control animal populations that they'd also talk about how important it is medically. Comment 2. Not the idiot. I mean, if you spay your dog, then no ovaries and no ovarian cancer. No, your fault he hadn't joined the dots. Yes, there are risks to neutering any animal, but there are also risks to not neutering. Edit. Your brother started the argument by accusing you of being a bad dog owner. Sore point for me at the moment as vets refusing to neuter ferrets in the UK due to the risk of adrenal disease, much lower incidence in the UK than the US, and ignoring all the consequences of having an entire or chemically neutered animal such as ovarian, uterine or testicular cancer, pyometra, anemia, behavioural issues and unwanted baby ferrets. No one can provide a risk odds table. Comment 3. Not the idiot. He said some nasty things to you and you countered that with some facts that were hard to hear. Has Tim got other issues going on with him? His reaction is very strong. I'm talking about the lack of filter when he told you were cruel for the dog being spayed, rather than his response to when you mentioned how his dog died. It's nearly like it's okay for him to say hurtful things, but he can't tolerate any retort, even if he's in the wrong. There also sounds like a bit of enablement going on if Clay commented on Tim's living in denial. Sounds like Tim needs some other support. If you liked this video, you'll probably like these too. Also, while you're here, please consider subscribing. It's your support that keeps this channel alive and allows me to make better and longer videos. Have a great day.